Scarlet and Violet booster boxes are ready to explode. Before we get into it, I'm Cal, this is CalsPokeMart. If you're new here, I do all sorts of Pokemon TCG content, markets, investing, grading, a few pack openings and a Pokemon business on eBay as well. So if you're into all that and want to see how I get along, then please subscribe and follow. So right now, the Pokemon community is completely distracted in my opinion. Everyone's scrambling to sell off all boxes, inventory, things that are actually good items as well to free up cash for the 30th. Everyone is laser focused, Sauron's eye on the 30th. They all see it as this big money making opportunity. The collectors want to collect the cards, the investors and the flippers want to get in there early and try and generate as much profit off it as possible. But while the crowd is looking in one direction, the smart investors are already looking at the next move ahead. You've always got to stay one step ahead of the game. And the charts that I've got in the background here showing all the Scarlet and Violet booster boxes price trends are telling a really interesting picture at the moment. So what we've got here while everyone's distracted with the 30th is a massive price consolidation of all the Scarlet and Violet booster boxes. They've all been fairly flat for a while. Destiny Rivals itself has actually come down a bit, but they're all consolidating between a really tight range of just over £100. Now that's actually mad to think that every single booster box in the Scarlet and Violet era is within pretty much £100 of each other. Especially when you look at older sets and how spread their booster box prices are. You think about the lesser sets in Sword and Shield, like your Battle Styles, your Rebel Clash, the poor ones, compared to Evolving Skies, which is absolutely mega expensive. And what I want to go through in this video here is to show you that this kind of consolidation and this boring price action, we call it boring because it's not shooting to the moon, isn't a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of the next step ahead and the next step up. So talking of Sword and Shield, let's get their price trends up just for a moment, because this is the interesting part to me. We all know that Scarlet and Violet booster boxes will not stay within a £100 range of each other. The top sets are going to break out. They're going to break out probably sooner rather than later as well. Now, what we look at Sword and Shield, obviously Evolving Skies is the massive outlier here. The red line is worth £1,700. Now, I'm not expecting the top set, which is probably Destiny Rivals from Scarlet and Violet, to go that high in the next couple of years, but it will definitely break out and become the outlier. Now, I want to remove this so we can see the detail. Where is it? See the detail actually a bit closer between the remaining sets. Because while the lesser sets are still between a tighter range, we've got Battle Styles at 235 up to Rebel Clash at 294. The sets above that themselves are breaking away. We see the orange line here, Fusion Strike at £670, Lost Origin £590. Which sets from Scarlet and Violet are going to be the one after Destiny Rivals that break away from the crowd like these two have? For me, Paldea Evolved and Surging Sparks. Clear as day for me that it's going to be those two. And you look at the prices of Fusion Strike and Lost Origin at the moment, and even to Brilliant Stars and Silver Tempest, they almost feel out of reach. Like they feel like expensive booster boxes. And if we flick back over to the Scarlet and Violet page, and just do this and then F11 back, look where, I mean you see the prices there. Paldea Evolved at the moment, £315 a box. It's barely gone up in a year. In fact, it's down from some, or is it down, slightly down from a previous high? And then we've got Surging Sparks, it's still sat at 230. Now we know that it had reprints and that's what's kept the price down. But this is a big Pikachu themed set. We've only got two Pikachu themed set in the modern Pokemon history, which was Vivid Voltage, which is rubbish, and this one. And this is actually a good set as well. So to have like the mascot of the whole Pokemon franchise on a box, are you telling me that in 3 years time Destiny Rivals won't be the one that breaks away, but behind it will be Paldea Evolved, Surging Sparks? They might be the ones that are like Lost Origin and that are like Fusion Strike that then pull away from the rest and they're sat at maybe £400, £500 a box. This will happen. This will without doubt happen. And this narrow range that you've got at the moment and these cheap prices for the Scarlet and Violet booster boxes, this reminds me of Sword and Shield just 18 months ago or so. So on Paul's TCG, because it's a new site, it doesn't go back 5 years, but we can have a quick look at the price charting. Look at Lost Origin here from January 2023. Barely moved really, went up slightly, and it wasn't until January 2025 and then into 2025 when things went ballistic. This low line here is where the Scarlet and Violet booster boxes are at the moment. They're kind of flatlining, they seem a bit boring. You know, they're going up and down a little bit, but it kind of feels like it's not exciting. Like the specialty set's what people's interested in, 30th is what people's interested in. But when the price consolidates like this for a long time, look what happens when the interest comes back. Look what happens when people realizing they're going out of print, or they've been out of print for a while. Look what happens when the 30th isn't making people money anymore, when Prismatic's had its run, when Ascended's not making people money anymore because it's too expensive. The eye will turn back to the booster boxes. The booster boxes are the foundation of Pokemon investing. And this is what I'm really excited about. This run here, which you can see on Lost Origin, this is going to happen to these Scarlet and Violet booster boxes. And at the moment, we're experiencing the 30th anniversary liquidity trap. So many people are like mega focused on just selling as much as possible, selling it for less than what they should be. Booster boxes, Destined Rivals getting sold left, right and centre for like just over £300. Surging Sparks getting sold left, right and centre. Paldea Evolved, price coming down a bit. Because people are so desperate to get hold of the 30th because they think they can make money off it. They think if they pick up Pokemon Center ETBs on the secondary market at say 200, that they're going to run to like 350 like Ascended did. It's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed that that will happen like Ascended did, because there's going to be a lot more of this. There's going to be a lot more of the 30th, sorry. But what is guaranteed to happen is the people who do make a lot of money on the 30th anniversary set, what are they going to do with that money? What are they going to do with it? Because these people are looking to make money. They know what they're doing. They're going to come and park it in the next big thing. And I've spoke about them doing it with Prismatic, but they will come for the booster boxes, the Scarlet and Violet booster boxes. They're still obtainable. They're still £200 to £300. They're not as expensive as Sword and Shield. They've had a good run already, some of them. This is where the next big block of money is for me. Like, these are ready to go, and all they need is a catalyst, and the 30th is that catalyst. And on the back of that, Prismatic will be that catalyst. People will roll money from 30th into Prismatic. That goes out of rotation next year. They'll roll the money from 30th and from Prismatic when that has that spike, and they'll put it into the Scarlet and Violet booster boxes. And we're going to see the best ones: Destined, Paldea, Surging, even Twilight, Obsidian could go. They're all going to have a run to that next step up to match where Sword and Shield is now. It'll follow behind, like 18 months behind. For me, it's the most interesting and obvious play in the market behind Prismatic Evolutions at the moment. Now, obviously, I'm not saying they're going to follow the exact same price patterns as Sword and Shield, because printing levels have been different, but I mean, we're not going to follow to the same price points. Like, I don't see Destiny Rivaled in 3 years being 1700 like Evolving Skies, but I do see it in 3 years being close to 1000. I really do see that. The other sets behind it, they'll trickle up and fill those gaps in between, and the lesser sets in Scarlet and Violet, they might stay lower, but I don't think they'll be as low as Sword and Shield. Every single set in Scarlet and Violet is better than the worst Sword and Shield sets. The only things that may keep Sword and Shield above them is scarcity, you know, for the collectors and that kind of thing. So what I'm getting at here is, don't be too hasty in trying to sell everything to get ready for the 30th when you may not actually be able to get a hold of the things you want, or the things that you think might be able to make some money won't make the money that you think it will. And if you buy too high on 30th, with it being in print for such a long time, you could even see that initial spike could tail down like Ascended is now. Like, we've seen Ascended went up to like £350 of Pokemon Center ETB. Now it's just tailing off a little bit. It's going to take a while before that goes up to the next leg. So if you buy 30th at the wrong point, you could be stuck with it trying to make money for a long time. Whereas these are relatively cheap now. They've already got a lot of time behind them. The time's bedded in, and all they need is that catalyst to send them up again, and that catalyst is coming. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on this. Don't be too hasty in selling booster boxes that you've got that have not moved for a while, because when something hasn't moved for a while, it's kind of an indication that it's ready to move. Every single day more of them get opened, there's less on the markets, and the smart people don't get too hyper focused on the next thing. The smart people, they'll look at the next thing and think, what's that going to do to the next step and the next step after that? And this is what I'm looking at here. These booster boxes are the next play down the line, the next one over. So you need to kind of like take that into consideration when you're looking at thinking, oh, should I sell my box of Destined Rivals that I got for MSRP for £300 and put £300 into 30th? Well, what's £300 going to get you? It probably won't even get you 2 Pokemon Center ETBs. This is far more valuable. And if you notice the Scarlet and Violet booster boxes coming down anymore, honestly, for me, they're a pickup. I'd actually say any of them. Obviously, Destined, Paldea, Surging, they're your big 3. Focus on them. But I think any of them are going to be primed for that next leg up. I can see Paradox Rift in a year or two's time being £300 a box. I can. And that is still a fantastic percentage gain. If it goes from 200 to 300, a 50% gain in a year or two far outdoes the stock market. Now obviously, yes, Destined Rivals could do 200% or 300%, whatever it may be, but even Paradox could do 50% in 2 years. It's a great return. But yeah, absolutely mad that the Scarlet Violet booster boxes are all within such a small price range of each other. They're definitely going to branch out in the near future. Those top sets are going to move ahead. Don't be left behind and don't be chasing it. Get in early. If you've got the spare capital, get in early. So let me know, are you selling your booster boxes to make room for 30th, or are you sitting on them waiting for them to make this next leg up? I am going to do one of these for all the PC ETBs, including the specialty sets and the regular ETBs as well. I think it's really interesting to look at these price points, compare it to older sets like Sword and Shield, and then trying to imagine where the next movements are going to go and which are the best items to pick up. So if you enjoy this kind of Pokemon market talk, then please like, subscribe, follow along for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.